Hello, my fellow engines and demons. It's been a while, and I'm so sorry for the long delay, but here we are now, back into the Elemental story, and it's time to introduce the characters. Finally, after like 9 months of waiting. Anyways, the introducing characters videos will be separated in different parts, as I have around 30 characters to introduce. Yeah, no, that's a lot. And to start things off, we'll be talking about the main cast. But before doing so, I want to bring up some context. The main cast and important characters are all part of a group called Elemental Knighthood. It is a group that was created over 1,000 years ago in terms of lore, and our characters have decided to use the name once again for the new group. With that said, let's dive in with the main cast. We'll start with Dark, the OC one, not my persona, the two are different. Those who have watched the Storytime Speed Paint might remember that her real name is actually Amari. After horrible events in her past that were talked in details in the Storytime Speed Paint, link in the description if you wanted to check, Dark lost her memory at 6 years old and found a moon necklace. Inside it was the soul of a dark magic user warrior, and he decided to take her in. He raised Dark like his daughter and taught her everything he knew about magic, making her a dark magic user who has full control of her powers. She then met Stormy, who became her best friend, and together went through many adventures through the years. Dark is a kind girl who wants to prove to the world that dark magic isn't evil. She tries to see the good in people and help when she can. If there is a possibility to fix a conflict without fighting, she'll try it. However, if there is none, she will fight to protect those she loves. Her leadership is the main reason she took on as the role of the new leader of the Elemental Knighthood. Next up we have Cyrus Merker. He is a dark magic user warrior and was the former leader of the first Elemental Knighthood, a group of knights and warriors composed of Cyrus and his companions. Cyrus comes from a wealthy merchant family. He, however, decided to train and become a knight and serve the royal family, while the rest of Cyrus' family continued on the merchant legacy. Cyrus met his friends, training together to become knights, and eventually they fought in the Great Elemental War. The one who started the war was a light magic user named Sammy Sebastian Lawrence, whom we'll talk about like in the villains video. The war was tough. Cyrus' companions lost their lives. However, the battle came to an end when both he and Sebastian raised their swords and killed one another. Both their souls got stuck in their respective necklaces, and they disappeared for centuries. You may have already guessed it, but Cyrus is indeed the warrior who raised Dark. Strong and wise, he fights for justice and peace, and is rather protective of those he loves. Kind and understanding, a true leader at heart, and a wonderful father figure for Dark. Then we have Dark's best friend, Stormy Coburn. Stormy was a troublesome child. She constantly managed to get bruises, and her 5-year-old self had the brilliant idea to bleach part of her hair, which became the white part of her hair. She became part of a band at 11, and said bandmates really did not have a good influence on her. They were rude, didn't bother to ask her age, and Stormy took really bad habits such as smoking and drinking at 11. Please, kids, don't do that! And even left her house for the sake of the band. She still had her kind heart deep inside, though. She saved her snake friend's life, Genix, by putting his soul into a doll using a demon book she stole from one of her bandmates. That should tell everything you need to know about said bandmates. She never realized she had used magic at that moment. She met Dark not so long after and was in shock when she healed her usual wounds. They quickly became friends, and Dark's kindness really helped Stormy be herself again. Her bandmates were not happy and started talking behind Dark's back, which angered Stormy. She fought them and left them for good in order to stay with her true friend. Stormy has a strong spirit. She's always up to fight and defend her friends, though her stubbornness and act first, think after mentality often puts her in trouble, but she would do anything for those she loves. Next on the list is Genix. Genix is a rattlesnake doll, however, he used to be an actual rattlesnake. He was on a tree when he met Stormy. He actually fell into the hood of her hoodie and instantly fell in love with the fabric. Since then, he and Stormy would always be together as he claimed her backyard as his new home. Though during winter she'd sneak him inside, and Genix fell in love with lots of smell, especially chicken wings, pizza, and beef roast, as those were things Stormy's family often ate. One day, however, he got ran over by a car, which happened to be Stormy's father's car. He was found by Stormy, and she managed to save his life by putting his soul into a doll. He could now talk, walk, and do things he thought he never would be able to do. He cried when he was finally able to actually eat the same food as Stormy's. He's forever grateful to her, and as a way to repay for what she's done for him, he decided to stay and become a guardian and protector to Stormy's younger brother, Toby. Genix is very protective and tends to bite when angry, though he can control his venom so no one gets poisoned from a bite unless he decides to. He has anger issues, but he's working on those with Stormy and Dark's help. He is loyal and would do anything to protect his friends. Following up with the Coburn family, we have Stormy's younger brother, Toby. Toby was adopted at a very young age, and he thought for years that Stormy was the one adopted. When he learned the truth, he didn't mind at all. The situation was pretty funny. He and Stormy are very close. Toby's first word was even sis due to how much Stormy took care of him. However, Toby has been through a lot of things that children should never go through. A stranger tried to abduct him when he was 5, and he witnessed his parents' dead bodies. The memories were repressed, however, and his innocence made him think that, quote, his parents were sleeping with ketchup all over the walls to protect him. He only realized the true meaning years later. After being saved from the stranger, he was sent to live with Grandma Macha, Stormy's grandmother. He lived with her for a year until she died peacefully in her sleep, sitting on a rocking chair. He then found Stormy's information and address, left with Genix, and managed to somehow walk all over town to find Stormy and Dark. Since then, they've been taking care of him. Toby is sweet, kind, and selfless. His innocence saved his mind from breaking. However, Cyrus acts as a therapist for him to help him get through the memories now that he got older. He's playful, a bit of a troublemaker, and is stubborn like his older sister, but his heart is pure and full of kindness. Finally, we have 2 characters for one, Gerald Thanis and his little brother, Jerry Thanis. Gerald is a Reaper and has been one for over 60 years. He is therefore still rather young for a Reaper. He and Jerry used to be humans when they were alive, and still are very close to this day. Gerald, as a child, used to suffer from an illness that kept making him weaker and weaker every day, as if his life was slowly being eaten. His parents eventually asked the help of a mysterious lady who came and did help the boy. Gerald was surprisingly cured and recovered, aside from his eyes going from pale blue to pink. The lady who helped him has since disappeared and was never seen again. Jerry soon came into his life, and Gerald and he were always together. However, at 17 years old, Gerald died in a house fire. His parents didn't survive, and Gerald sacrificed himself in order to save Jerry, who was at the time 9 years old. It was then that the Lord of Reapers came to Gerald and brought him alongside him as Gerald became a Reaper. Jerry was sent in an orphanage but suffered deep depression at the loss of his family. He died 2 years later, after letting himself drown in the nearby lake, where his soul was sent to Gerald, in which Jerry had the choice to ascend or stay by his brother's side, and he of course chose his brother. Their story started off tragically, but it wasn't the end, as they now are together in their Reaper life. A new life awaits them, one in which they will live together hand in hand. Oh boy, the main cast is done. I have no idea how long this video took. I guess I'll see when I'll edit everything. Next time we'll be able to look at the important characters in the next video. Though that one category will itself be separated in 3 mini categories. Yes, I know. Lots of video coming up. But hey, that happens sometimes. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my fellow angels and demons. Gerald, as a child, used to suffer from an illness that kept him... Mm. So her stubbornness. The fuck was that? Next up, we have Cyrus. God fucking damn it. I'm sorry, just look at his face. I don't know why chibis with beard make me laugh so hard.